Hey, welcome to the Art of Shame-Free Living podcast. I have not done a subconscious practice in a while, so I'm going to do one. Lately, I've been talking to a lot of people about relationships. They've been asking me a lot of advice, specifically partner relationships. And what I notice about relationships is that there's all these patterns at play. There's these attachment wounds, attachment patterns from our past that kind of just go over and over and over again. And we don't really notice that these unconscious patterns are happening. And at the bottom of each trigger is always something, some inadequacy, some pattern that's at play below the surface. And the way to really shift things is through not conscious work so much, but unconscious work. If it was conscious work, we could notice it, we could stop it, we could change it, it would shift right away. But if you've already tried those things and you're noticing, I'm still feeling like we're stuck in the same pattern of relating to each other, whether it's you relating to your kids, you relating to your parents, you relating to your partner or spouse, I just want you to imagine the difference really isn't conscious. The difference really is subconscious. So consciously, maybe you've tried to make changes and you haven't noticed that you felt any differently. The feeling space is more of that subconscious space. We can be saying a lot under the surface that we don't say verbally, and other people can be receiving that, feeling that from us without us saying a lot consciously. So what we're going to work on today is the subconscious practices. I have several subconscious practices on my podcast. And if this is work that you want to continue to do with me, I would encourage two things. One is my retreat, coachcrystal.ca/retreat. It is open for registration right now. It's a women's retreat. And then I have a women's group program called the Creation Room that is going to be open for the next month or two if you want to join us. It's for people that are already familiar with this work, that have been listening to the podcast for a while, or familiar with work like this. It might be a little over your head if you're super new to it, but we can hop on a call and I can tell you a little bit more about it. But we really get in there and we really work through this kind of work, these same kind of subconscious practices. There's a whole meditation library within there. There's a whole journaling prompt library within there. We have calls. We meet twice a month. It's a really great program with really great women who are doing this work. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. And I do have one spot open for one-on-one coaching. And when that spot is filled, I won't have any left until 2027. So if that's something you're interested in doing, a really deep dive, that's a very individualized, very deep dive program. That's awesome. And it includes the Creation Room and includes the retreat. And that you can find at coachcrystal.ca/miracle, or you can send me an email at crystal@coachcrystal.ca. Crystal is CRYSTAL, and we can chat more about it. So I hope today's message and today's practice is good for you, and feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Reach out. So today we're going to be doing a subconscious practice on receiving, and I want to talk for a minute about receiving first. What I've noticed is that when I'm doing any money work and I'm trying to maybe receive more money, create more wealth, whatever you want to call it, that feeling of receiving feels the same as when I receive love, as when I receive compliments, as when I receive opportunities, when relationships are going well. There's a lot of feelings that feel kind of energetically the same in my system. And what I noticed was if we're trying to receive more wealth, but we block ourselves from like being fully us, but we block ourselves from allowing other people to compliment us, we block ourselves from feeling proud about something we accomplished, we block ourselves from celebrating or acknowledging the good that we're doing, the shifts that we're making, things that are coming in. We block ourselves from receiving support from other people. We just say, we'll just grit and bear it. We'll just do it all ourselves. We block ourselves from allowing somebody else to pay us or to give us a compliment, right? We might argue with them. Oh no, it really wasn't that big of a deal or whatever, right? No, let me pay for you. We say that we want more, but whatever that more is, whatever flavor or shape that more takes, we block it unconsciously, sometimes consciously. So if we truly want to receive more, we need to be more open to receiving. So one of the things we can ponder on is, where am I blocking receiving in my life? What are some areas in my life where I feel really triggered around receiving? If money comes in a different way than I expected it, maybe. If it doesn't come in the way that I wanted to, maybe it's somebody offering to pay a bill for me. Maybe it's somebody offering to give me something or to pay for something. Maybe it's coming in some sort of government grant or in some way way that I don't feel is honorable enough, like I didn't work for it enough somehow. This can also be opportunities. It can be as simple as getting an upgrade on a plane. It can be as simple as somebody trying to give you love or support or kindness or service in some way, and you feeling really uncomfortable on the inside with receiving that support. We all have masculine and feminine energy both within us, and they're both at play, but we're often more tuned in to masculine energy because we also see that around us. And feminine energy is something we're not as tuned into. Feminine energy includes intuition, emotions, connection. Intuition is strong and powerful. This feminine energy is strong and powerful within us, but we're not used to it. And on the feminine energy side of things is also receiving, and the masculine energy side of things would be giving. And obviously we have both within us, but we're usually more comfortable with one than the other. And so I hope this practice today helps us to open ourselves up to more of that receiving, helps us feel differently about receiving. The way to heal, the way to shift, the way to change things that are deeply ingrained, patterns that are deeply ingrained, that have come from childhood, that come from attachment, that are connected to safety and security, is all through our feelings. So we're going to do some feelings work today. You can notice how you feel at the beginning. You can notice how you feel at the end and contrast that. Sometimes I like to write down how I feel at the beginning and how I feel at the end. You don't have to use an emotion word. You can describe it with sensations. You can use any description that you want. It doesn't have to make any sense. And just notice what shifts for you, what changes for you, and take some moments to journal, maybe a little bit before and maybe a little bit after, and see what happens. All right, I invite you to close your eyes. Find a relaxing and supportive position. You might be sitting up straight with your spine straight, your back creating some support for you, shoulders hanging, belly loose, soft forehead, eyelids loose, arms hanging off those shoulders, everything feeling loose and open. Might be laying down or sitting up against a wall, but I encourage you to find a space in which you feel supported so that you can feel open and free. We're going to start to relax from the top of our head all the way down to our toes. We're going to imagine a warm sensation, maybe a little heavy, but a nice kind of comforting heavy, starting at the top of our head and spreading down through our forehead. The tiny little muscles in the forehead loosening, feeling free and open. Our ears, our chin, our eyes, our tongue, our jaw, everything in the head and the scalp all feeling loose and open. Our head feeling heavy on our neck and shoulders, like it's being pulled down to the earth. Our shoulders as well, feeling heavy and loose. Our arms dangling down. Even our fingers feeling heavy. Our chest, our spine, all the way down. Wrapping around to our organs, our stomach, gut, pelvic floor, left leg, right leg. Everything feeling heavy and loose and open, all the way down to your feet and toes, each toe feeling heavy too. Like your whole body is sinking into the ground. Notice how relaxed you feel. Notice your breath. Has it deepened or slowed? What is the texture of your breathing? As we focus on our body and our breath in this way, we bring our awareness, our gaze from our mind, our thoughts, to the body. This is a way of settling into the body. And if your mind starts to get activated or think or logic things, I just invite you to gently redirect it back to your body, to your breath, to your sensations. There's no right or wrong way to do this, just gentle redirection as many times as you need. We're going to turn that inward gaze and focus it now in our center. Maybe your stomach, maybe your chest, maybe your heart. And imagining a big open space. Maybe that big open space feels like a big empty plain or field. Maybe it feels like a big blank canvas or a giant whiteboard or a big screen with nothing on it. Whatever your big open space feels like, I invite you to imagine that somewhere on the inside, this big open space. And the more you stand there, the more you look around, the bigger that space gets. That space spreading all the way up to your head, all the way down to your feet, down to your arms and hands. That space expanding beyond your body, beyond your system, to the room that you're in, beyond the room you're in. That space getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Body feeling loose and settled. Space inside feeling big and open. I invite you to imagine a time where it was hard for you to receive, where someone was trying to help you, serve you, give you money, pay for something, give you love, give you a compliment, whatever it was, and you felt a block, something within you that made it impossible or difficult to really receive what someone else was trying to give you. Bring up that moment in time. Or let the moment in time come in. Don't search for it or grasp it. It can even be a moment in which you felt blocked from being you around someone else or in a certain situation, like you couldn't be fully yourself. Maybe several memories pop in, maybe just one. But our intention here is to get to the feeling of the memory or the memories. How does it feel in your body looking back on this time? Maybe it was recent, maybe it was long ago. Notice any sensations in the body, subtle or big. Where do you feel the feeling that you're feeling? Moving your gaze inward to that space where you feel this sensation or emotion the most strong. As you do, notice, is it heavy or light? Fast or slow? Does it feel like it has a color, a texture, a temperature? Just notice anything you can about this sensation, this feeling in the body. Keep your awareness turned there, focused in there. And again, if the mind starts to activate again, we're just going to gently redirect it back to the feeling in the body. The memory's gone, the moment's gone, but we are sitting with the feeling. See if you can sit more deeply. See if you can sink more deeply. Let more of it come in. The feeling feels really big and you feel like you need some extra support. I sometimes like to imagine that my heart is opening and someone who loves me comes in. It can be a pet, it can be nature, it can be a person, living or passed on, that's there to help you as you feel. I invite you to imagine that feeling, that sensation, as either an object or a shape or a metaphor, or as a child, a younger version of you. This is the imaginative part of this work. So I invite you not to try and strive or reach for the one right way to do it, but just allow it to come in. Use your imagination. There's no way to get it wrong here. It's all right. Whatever you're feeling took the shape and the form of, I invite you to sit with it. Look at it, watch it, maybe feel it or hold it. Sit beside it. Whatever feels right. Whatever you can do to get up and so close to it. Again, seeing what you notice. What their face is like, what they're feeling, what the texture of the shape or object is, what it really looks like in detail. Your mind might wander or get activated around, am I doing this right? Or lose your train of thought. And that is fine. That is okay. That is expected. We just gently redirect it back. Bring the awareness back to that object or form or child. And as you sit more deeply with the feeling, I invite you now to listen. Listening can look like sitting with the feeling. Listening can look like letting the object or shape or child share with you a message. Maybe they have a lot to say. Just sit and listen. Eventually, the listening will feel complete. You'll get to a point in time where it feels like they've felt all they need to, or shared all they needed to, shown you all they needed to. See if there's anything more, any other hurt they need to show you, any other feelings they want to sit through. Allow yourself to be your own guide through this. If there's other words or images or ideas that come to mind, feel free to meander through. This is your experience, so you take the lead. Feel free to shut out the sound of my voice and have your own insides guide you through your own experience. The subconscious mind being the one that's more illogical, more shape, more symbol, more childlike. At some point, that complete feeling will come, like it's shared all it needs to, or you've sat with it for long enough that it starts to shift, maybe subtly, maybe big. And you ask it what it needs. You might not even need to ask it. You might know. Again, using your imagination, nothing here has to make sense. It might need a water bottle, a fire, a blanket. Might need a warm hug. Might need words. Just go to whatever you feel like it needs and do that. Notice the more you do this, the more the feeling starts to shift. It feels more held, more seen. Something releases even more. It can be subtle, it can be significant. Doesn't matter. Even if you don't notice the shift, you just being here and sitting with you is already the shift. Already teaching your insides, your nervous system, that it's safe to be with you. All your feelings are safe with you. Once that feeling feels complete or supported or finished in some way, I invite you to just imagine wrapping your arms around it if you didn't already. Letting it just be there, accepting it all the way, more fully even than before. Maybe it melds into you, maybe it shifts shapes, maybe it wants to be put up on a shelf, whatever it wants. Go ahead and do that. Eventually becoming more aware of the sound of my voice, more aware of your body and the space in the room. All emotions being messages. Is there a message that you want to receive today? Is there a thought, a word, an image that wants to come in? Just sit in stillness and silence for a moment as you listen. You can close now if you'd like by slowly, deeply breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Sometimes I like to imagine before I close that I am beside a river, my feet dangling in the river. And the people playing in the river are all versions of me at different ages, very young and very old, from the beginning of my life to the very end of my life. They're comfortable, free, open. And sometimes they have messages for me. Sometimes they have advice for me. Sometimes I have a question for them. Sometimes we just be. So feel free to add that to the end of your practice today if you'd like, or just end. If you do sit with them and they share anything with you, maybe how they feel about you, what they see, maybe you give them a hug, maybe you end with some thankfulness for whatever happened in your practice today, whether you went there or didn't, whether you had a big shift or a subtle one, whether this felt relaxing for you or uncomfortable. Just appreciating all of whatever came and being grateful for ourselves for giving ourselves this time and space. Maybe you wrap your arms physically around yourself, actually moving your hands and arms. Maybe you shake the body. Maybe you start to just move it gently. Maybe you wiggle the toes or the hands. Rolling the neck, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. You start to become more aware of my voice, more aware of your body in the room, more aware of everything around you, all your surroundings, and eventually coming back to your breath and becoming more aware of your breath too, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Doing that for at least 3 breaths or more. And I invite you, before you come all the way back to normal life again, to start with your journal. Maybe you draw, maybe you scribble, maybe you write a shape, maybe you write words. Whatever felt important to you that you want to have stick with you. Sometimes I like to think of a movement that feels like the way that I feel. Maybe I shift my shoulders or press my middle finger and my thumb together just to kind of lock in this experience, this feeling, kind of end this loop, end the practice, and then head to my journal. You can go and do so, and I hope it was helpful for you too.